Hello and welcome to my channel. You know, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know that I've really embraced this 3D printing aspect of my hobby. You know, whether I'm printing accessory pieces and heads with my resin printer, my Anycubic resin printer, or if I'm printing, you know, display items with my Creality PLA printer, I'm just really having a good time. You know, however, some of you guys may be hesitant to kind of like make the jump yourself into resin printing just because of maybe a number of factors. Maybe it's the cost of the items, or maybe it's the perceived, I guess, I wouldn't say dangers, but I guess it could be dangers of the resin material. So today I thought I'd go ahead and share with you something that I picked up on eBay. You know, I don't know why I got it. I mean, I guess I kind of understand why I got it, but I picked something up that might be of interest to you, and I have it here in the box. I'm gonna go ahead and get this open. It's not a huge box, but it's a relatively big box. I'm gonna go ahead and get this open and pull out the items that are inside. And if you've thought about 3D resin printing and just kind of been holding off, this might be the video for you. So let me get this open and we'll come right back. You know, as I was opening it up, I found this in there. This might be of interest. You know, I don't know if you can read those QR codes, but if you want some more information, there's some information there with those QR codes. Maybe if I do it that way, it might be a little bit easier to read. So you can check out the manual on this and the setup video. Might be of help to you if you're interested in this. Let's keep going a little bit more. I think I'm gonna have to. This is the main box in here. Let me go ahead and get that out and let's take a look at it. And this thing is packed like a Russian nesting doll. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out and we can take a closer look at it. I guess I'm happy that it was packed so well, but for an unboxing, it's not very exciting. Let's see. This paper can be used for leveling, so I'll hang on to that. Let's see what else it has. I got a little box here. Oh great, it's got accessories. I've got little filters. I've got gloves. I've got my own gloves. Those never fit me. I guess that's a power supply. Ooh, it even came with a USB stick. That's good. What's this? Some sort of attachment. I have to look that up. Some tools. Here we go. This right here is used for scraping the prints off the plate. That's nice right there. And this one is used for scraping the tray or the vat, because you know you accumulate little resin particles in there, and you can pull them out with this. And then of course it has this mask. That's pretty cool. See if I can get to the main parts, the guts. There we go. This looks familiar. I'm gonna get the rest out and we'll take a look at it. Wow, this is one teeny 3D printer. Here's the build plate. That thing is small. I mean, it's perfect for Mego heads, right? Or a rifle and stuff, but here's a bat. Look how small that is. Now, I had originally picked this up because I wanted a spare, I guess a spare printer because, you know, I do stuff for school and stuff. You know, even though I'm retired, I'm still volunteering and I go out and do stuff with kids. Like this summer I had it was like a summer camp, and we printed up some items. I think I have them over here. Let me grab them. We were doing some stuff on rockets, and so I printed up these pieces. These were for the balloon rockets that we made. They were like little nozzles and stuff. But I thought, man, it'd be super cool if the kids could actually go through the process of sizing and printing themselves. So that's pretty much why I picked this up, and the price really helped out a lot too. I'm gonna get the bottom part out and let's get it assembled. But so far it's looking pretty good, and it doesn't look like it's gonna take up a lot of room at all. Wow, this is a complete setup here. I've got everything I need. I've got my UV shroud, I've got my vat, I've got my build plate. Let me go ahead and adjust the build plate real quick. It's a teeny little build plate. But you know what? Big enough for a couple of heads, rifles, things like that. So if you're doing some customizing, you know, you can certainly use this this particular printer. I'm just loosening these like little nuts here because there's some micro adjustments. The first thing you always have to do is you have to adjust the Z level or the vertical. And so you can see that this gives you a little play. So just use this paper placed here, I guess right there, and then press the build plate down until it meets the screen. You just want this to be nice and loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and get plugged in, and I'll show you the process of setting it up, because this is basically, I don't know, it's the only part, but it's the most important part. So I got that loose. Let me go ahead and get this put together and plugged in, and we'll start leveling. All right, I got it plugged in. I don't know if you can see this screen, but I've got like 3 different options. I've got print, system, and tools. We're gonna go to tools. Oh, hang on. And I've got some different options here. I've got Move Z, LCD test. Ooh, LCD test. Let's check this out. So it has 3 different options. It's got center, it's got border. Oh no, this is border, this is center, and this is the whole thing. So let's go next and check it out. You can see it light up in the border. Pretty cool. Oh, let's go to the middle one. Make sure that's working. Yep, you can see that. And then the last one is the whole thing, I think. Oops, last LCD test, that one right there. What did I hit? My fingers are kind of big for this. This is a very small platform, look at that. Okay, so that works as well. So now that I got that done, let's go ahead and take a look at our Z leveling. Use this, and like I said, I cut it back a little bit just so you can see the process and the screen at the same time. So I'm going to place it up here, and I'm going to tighten it down. I am going to make sure that this thing moves up and down freely. If not, you could damage your screen. This leveling piece of paper, what it does is it just kind of simulates the width of this FEP film. So let me just make sure it's kind of like centered. Tighten down, good. So let's see, what do I want to do? I think I have to go home first. Okay, so that's home. And now that I've got the home, I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. Make sure that it's leveled on the platform here. I'll come back and retighten those, but just kind of getting them initially tightened. This is the most critical part of your setup, just because if you don't get this right, you're going to get some failed prints. So I got that done. Let me go ahead and go back, and I'm going to set 0. Enter. So that's now my 0, and I'm ready for printing. I just need to place my, my little vat in there. And there's like these little slots, so I don't think you can mess it up. And it looks like it's ready to print. You know, I have some special printing fluid. Many of you guys may be worried that you know, the fumes of 3D printing may, you know, cause you to not do this, because, you know, I guess I've never really experienced the fumes, but I do it in a well ventilated area. But you know what? I found this water wash resin by Cubic, and not only does this reduce, I guess, the fumes and the discomfort of 3D printing, it also, it may be flexible too. I'm gonna check a print. I'm looking for a really neat print that I can use with this, so I can check the flexibility of this. So let me go ahead and go to my computer and download a print that will not only test this build plate size, but would also test the, I guess, the flexibility of this particular resin, Cubic's water wash resin. I like this too because, you know, if I'm going to be using this with kids, they'll still follow the safety precautions, goggles and gloves. But, if they make a mess, we can clean it up with water, and they can wash their hands afterwards in water. And, hopefully it didn't get any resin on them. But, this water-based resin may be a little safer than the regular resin. And I'm only going to run water-based resin exclusively in this printer. I'm going to be using this with my granddaughter too. When she gets a little older, she can print up some toys. And, I plan to use this quite a bit with kids. And this thing is small. I'm gonna grab one of my figures so that you can see just how big this thing is, and I'm gonna get printing. Okay, from what I've read about this particular printer, I should be able to use my existing Anycubic software. So I'm gonna go ahead and import a model, and the model that I've imported has many pieces that kind of fit together. I really want to test out that plant resin because it's supposed to be somewhat flexible. And so I want to see how flexible it is and how well it works. Well, here we have Gleek. I'm going to go ahead and make this guy a little bit bigger. I want him to be in like Migo scale. So I'm going to go for 200%. Oops. 200%. Okay, so there's the head. Let me go ahead and rotate that so I can support it. I might want it. No, I don't want it hollow. I'll just do it like that. Maybe a little bit more. Those teeth might be a problem. Let me click support. I want them to be medium. Good. Generate automatic supports. Yeah, see, they're the teeth. I might be able to get away with fewer supports. Let me try that. Let me get rid of those supports and go back. Let me rotate them a little bit more. Still think I'm going to have those teeth supported. That's a little better. Okay, so I've got his head. Let me go ahead and pick out the other parts. Chest. 200%. And I'm going to show you I might be running into a problem. I might go ahead and check that right now. Okay, and support that. Okay, so this is what, no, you know what, let me keep going because I wanted to make a point because this is what I'm worried about. Let me repair that arm. Oops. Let me rotate that as well. There is a method to my madness here. And 200%. And instead of importing, I think I'm just going to clone this and mirror X so that I have his other arm. And I can already see I'm going to have a problem. I don't know if you can see what my problem's going to be, but let me get his tail. Scale 200, and then I'm going to test my my new printer because my old printer has a bigger build plate surface than this, and I really want to see how much larger it is. All right, so that's all done. So this is for my regular printer. Try to separate them a little bit. Now I'm going to go to the machines, and the machine that this new one uses the same software as this Anycubic Mono. So when I switch over to this, you can see I've got an issue with size now. Let me see if I can still get this to work. I'm going to rotate. Oops, wrong way. It's always the last one for some reason. Yeah, it's not gonna fit. I can already see that it's not gonna fit. I don't think there's any way I can get these together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to print them in separate batches. I think I'll print the arms and maybe the head, and then I'll print the body and the tail. So let me go ahead and delete this. Oh, I did want the head. Let me delete this and keep the head. And so I think this is what I'm going to be printing, and then I'll come back and I'll test the other pieces in just a second. Okay, so let's see how this printer gets these pieces taken care of. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and print these, and then I'm going to print the other pieces as well. Okay, here are the other two pieces. Let me click support. Again, medium, generate, pretty easy. Generate automatic supports. Okay, it looks like those two fit pretty well. So I'm going to get the first batch printed. I'm going to print these, and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at how the pieces fit together, what the print quality is like, and you know, just kind of finish out the review of that printer in general. But I'm pretty optimistic. All right, I'm just finishing up pouring in some of my resin. I don't want to go more than half capacity in the vat, because then it could spill out. It looks like I'm getting a little bit of a dribble. Let me go ahead and grab a wet paper towel. All right, so just kind of cleaning this up. And if I spilled any there, looking good. All right, I brought, you know, let me take my glove off. I brought my Mandalorian figure just so you can see how big this printer is, or how small it is actually. Look at that. This is a Mego scale figure right next to my printer. Let me get the cowl on, or the UV protector. I don't know what this thing is called. Oh, let me make sure everything's tightened up. I'd like to get printing right after this. So I'm going to cover this up. And then there is my Mandalorian figure right next to my printer. It's not very big at all. Okay, so I've got a disc in here too. It's that USB stick that came with it. And let me go back to print. And I've got my Gleek here. Here's Gleek 1. Let me click Gleek 1. This is the head and the arms. Let's see how it does. Okay, you can see that if you put too much resin in there, that it's going to overflow. The vat's going to overflow. So it looks like it's printing. There's the outline right there. And we'll come back in a few hours just to check it out and see how it's done, at least for the first part. Okay, it's done. It took a little longer than I expected. Not a lot, but it did take a little time. So, let me go ahead and pull the print off. And right here, let me see if I can put this down. Let me scrape these off real quick, and I'll show you where I'm scraping them into. Return the cover, and lower this so you can see. I just have a little, I guess, Tupperware thing with some water, just to kind of like rinse out the prints. And I'm taking off the supports. Okay, let me put this back in the water. Looks like that finger may be a little weird. I'll take a look at it in a little bit. Here's Gleek's head. Gotta be careful, his ears are pointy, I don't want to break them. And this is on a medium support, so you know, a lighter support might come off a little bit easier, but I wasn't sure how this would work, so I made sure I got a medium support. Oh, there's the stem. That looks pretty good. I think this is going to work out pretty nicely. That looks really good. Okay, let me just do the arm. I'm going to take this outside, get them cured, and I'll bring them back. I'm also going to start the printer for the next batch. The second print, which is the body and the tail. Yeah, I think that's just the way the fingers are. Let's take a look at the head. That looks really good. I don't want to drip all over the place. All right, let me go ahead and get the print started for the next one. I simply, let me see, I'll move this out of the way. Maybe I can do it on camera. I gotta take off my glove. I'm gonna go ahead and put print finished. Oh, I should have checked out the total time. So I'm on Gleek 2. That's this one right here. Let me make sure that I tighten the build plate. Yeah, I did. And let me press play. And by the time these are cured, that should be done as well. And it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to clean up. It's just water, right? Water soluble. I got a little bit here. Clean that up. So I'm going to take these out, get them cured, and I'll be back. Hopefully this is done. Okay, so it's done. Let me go ahead and get these out. I did cure my other pieces. They kind of yellowed in the sun. That's happened to me before. So if you don't want that yellowing, you know, use a UV light. I have a UV light. I might use it on this if I can find it. Oh, I don't want to take that off. Let's see. So I'm gonna, let me see if you can see this. I'm gonna remove the build plate. And I'm going to empty the pieces here in my water. Just come right off. I'm really liking the water feature because, you know, alcohol can get expensive. Plus, you know, that really smells. But I'm just going to rinse these off pretty well. Here's the little tail. See. I will say that this is a little bit, it's a little pliable. I don't know how pliable. We'll find out once I try to put the joints together. Then I'll have a really good idea of how flexible it is if I don't get any of the joints, these things right here to break. Okay. Make sure that's cleaned out real well. I am really happy with the detail. Look at that. Let me rinse it out a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to rinse these out. I'm going to cure them. I think I'm going to, if I can find my UV light, I'll use that. But I haven't seen it in a while. I don't know where I might have left it. Oh, look, he stands. I put the tail in now, but it would cement in the curing. So I'll wait on the tail and just get these pieces prepped for curing. So that's where we are right now. All right, here's where the rubber meets the road. Let's see how this works. Oh, what? I don't know what to do with these arms. Why do they look so crazy? I'm gonna have to reprint these arms. Let's see what the head does. Nice and gentle. Let's see if I get that flexibility. I can see it like twisting. You know, let me try the tail. What happened with those hands? That's weird, isn't it? Oh yeah, tail snaps in there. It almost has like a waxy feeling. Oh, I have something in there. Let me clean that out. Okay. Oh, it just snapped right in. Oh, it broke. You see that? I should have heated it up. Well, I guess it's not as flexible as I thought. Also, you know what? The odor on this, it's supposed to be less odor, but I noticed it bothers me a little bit more. I don't know, but it does. It might be because it's in this enclosed photo booth. But yeah, well, I'm gonna have to print out these arms anyway, so I'm gonna print out another head and fix these arms. I have no idea what happened with these arms. Let's see, is this guy Amigo scale? I don't know, maybe a little small. You guys tell me what you think. Let me put his head on even though it's broken. I'm gonna get that fixed though. Well, that looks about right, right? So, well, you know, anyway, let's go back to the printer and take a look at that. The printer is nice. Let's see. I'm gonna try to raise this thing up. You know, my bid was 67 bucks, right? And I got it with shipping, which was 20. You know, and tax, it came out to like 97 bucks. So under $100 for a really cool resin printer that can give you some really neat results. I might have to print this in ABS just because this stuff may not be as flexible as I wanted. I mean, it's good stuff as far as like being water-based. This thing was super easy to clean up. I just, you know, I have a big like bar sink and I wiped down the resin and then I rinsed it out along with the build plate too. I wiped it down real well and then I rinsed it out and it was super easy to clean. So as far as the water resin being something that you can use, you know, to make your life easier with printing, I'd say yes. I don't know about the fumes, just because, like I said, I didn't experience any benefit from fewer fumes. It was actually worse than what I have. But you know what? My printer's in, like I said, a well-ventilated area. This is pretty confined, so that might be it. But as far as getting a printer, entry-level printer that you can be happy with, I mean, it's a great value. You know, I'm gonna enjoy keeping it. It's so lightweight. It's just a teeny little thing, you know. Just really, I don't know how portable it is. I don't think I have to mess with the Z-axis. I think I should be good, but yeah, I just cleaned up that tray real nicely. I did notice a little smudge right here on this on the cover. It's like a little drip there. I'll get that in a little bit. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. As of posting, these things are still online and for sale. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out if you want to check and see the availability. Again, it says Astrofab, but you know, from everything that I've read, these were produced by Anycubic for Astrofab, and they're basically they're old mono printers. You know, I think that was like one of the first ones that came out. The software that I'm using still supports the mono printer. You just have to search for it when you're selecting the printer on your software. So the software is there. Let's see what else. I looked for some screen covers. I couldn't find those. Those are available for like the Mono 2 and Mono 4. I don't know about the sizes. I'm gonna check the size on that and see if I can use something like that. But you can always just get a regular, you know, if it's a little larger, screen cover, and then just cut it down to size and put it on there. So I'm not particularly worried about that. It would be nice to have one that fits with a little tab and everything, but you know. The build plate, you know, let me pull that off. The build plate is very small, but if you're doing like Migo customizing, like that scale, you know, I think you should be fine. You could even do some 1/6 heads on this. I don't know about rifles and stuff like that. I know for the 1/9 scale, you can get some pretty decent rifles. Maybe not something as large. I should have brought my Mandalorian rifle. because I think that it would barely fit, if not fit. It might not fit. No, it looks like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. I should just go get it. Oh yeah, that looks big enough on his back. Just do it on the diagonal. So it looks like it'll take care of any of your 1/9 scale customizing needs. And for less than $100, boy, I don't think you can beat it. So let me go ahead and put this back. I think that's about it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, put a like down below and any comments that you have. I don't know a lot about this printer yet, but as I go along and use it a little bit more, I should become very familiar with it. So until next time, you guys be cool, stay safe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye now. You know, I was a little bummed about that resin that I picked up. I mean, I like the fact that it's water-based. However, I wanted something a little bit more flexible. And sure enough, Anycubic has a water wash ABS-like resin. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up. That way I can take care of any flexibility issues that I need. You know, I'll use the other stuff for solid pieces, you know, heads, things like that. But for anything that has some sort of need for flexibility, I'm going to try out this water-based ABS resin. So I should be doing a video on this just to check it out soon, so you guys can make your evaluation. So just wanted to add that. You know, I found out what was in this little bag. It's actually a printer interrupter. And what happens is if you remove the case, this will stop your print. So, you know, the print head moves up and down, and you know, it could interfere with the print if you remove the cover, or you know, it's a moving part. It could damage the machine. So this basically stops your print if you take the cover off. So let me go ahead and get this installed. You know, I contacted the seller about this, and I said, "Hey, this little thing came in the bag. What is it?" And he told me exactly what it was and how, you know, how it sets up. So got this here because, you know, it wasn't in the manual. Well, I didn't see it in the manual. But there's the interrupter. And then I just have to find the corresponding part on the, or place on the cowl here. I think this goes on the inside. Let me just double check. What does it say? Do not remove this sticker. Okay, so it's going to go right there at the bottom, right in the middle. You know, let me go get a marker so I can mark that real quick. I picked up a little dry erase marker, so let me just put a big circle there so I know that's where it goes. And then I'm just going to place this right in the center. And let me just wipe that off. And there you go. There's my interrupter and marker. So I'm glad that I figured that out. Didn't want to leave you guys hanging. Told you I'd get back to it, so I'm glad I did.